Opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And good evening, everybody. You know what, everybody? I am actually out of practice. I went 2 weeks without doing Scarefest TV. I don't even know what's going on. Anyway, everybody, welcome to Scarefest TV, the original broadcast date, November 4th, 2022. First episode after all the Scarefest 2022. So we're coming in to do our victory lap and all that stuff. Because I think we did it fairly right from the public standpoint. So, welcome, Adrian and Brandon, to the show. Before we go on, though, I just want to point out, I'm thinking about keeping a little short mustache. I'm told that it makes me look younger.
Bullshit.
I shaved mine off, and you've just trimmed yours down.
No, I had it shaved pretty close.
Yeah, as long as you don't do like a square underneath your nose, I'm sure you're good.
So anyway.
Well, I would like to point out a picture that Wes used of me was a glorious picture of me with a fake mustache, and I absolutely loved it. So I don't feel too left out right now.
I looked on her Facebook page and said, "Oh wow, that's the silliest picture I can find." And then she texted me to tell me she loves it, so I can't do anything right.
I do love it.
So anyway, Brandon, go ahead and be smug. Tell everybody what a great job you did.
Well, I don't really think I did that much. I think a lot of other people did.
No.
And I mean,
take credit. Okay. You have mastered.
I came up with the lineup. Like, I worked the budget, like all that kind of stuff. But like Adrian, Rachel, you, like the handlers, the runners, like all those guys. I mean, it's just everybody has a part to play. But now I will say this: my job was to get asses in the door, and so if you put it by that, then yes, I'll take a victory lap on that one.
That was all I was really referring to. I know you don't do any of this other shit.
All right, good. So just so we're on the level.
Yeah. No. But yeah, you have obviously mastered Facebook marketing. And now we've got to figure out TikTok and Instagram, and hell, sky's the limit, Brandon. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, I don't even know what we do with Twitter now, but I'm not getting into that. But the interesting thing about this year was that we basically came away with some metrics that a lot of people through that door. I mean, which, by the way, I mean, we had more people this year than we have any other year. And a lot of people in that door were first-time con-goers.
Yep.
I mean, you had a lot of people that travel around from con to con, and the folks that have been coming for years to Scarefest, but you're talking about a huge chunk, probably about where I got it from was going around to different places, and they were basically like asking, had you been to a con before? Have you been to Scarefest before? And I was trying to get an idea. And so when we put all that together, roughly it was like 60% of people that walked in had not been to a con, which blows my mind. Like, it was people from all over the place, like Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky was a huge chunk of it. A huge chunk.
Yeah.
You're talking about people from California, Oregon, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Florida, the United Kingdom, Canada. I mean, it was all over the place. And it just absolutely blew my mind. And a lot of those guys that traveled down from a long ways, there was a lot of people from Texas.
Yep.
Well, they owed it to us. We went all the way down there this year. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there were guys that traveled. I drove like all the way from like Houston and Dallas. Yeah, it was just, yeah, it completely.
And let's hit some of the highlights. Some supposed to ask questions. One, Brandon, can you give us a number on the attendance this year?
Well, a gentleman never asks and a lady never tells.
Well, I'm not a gentleman and you're not a lady, so I'm asking and you're telling.
We were over 15.
Awesome. The next thing is everybody is asking, are we going to be bringing the trading cards back? And as Terrence teased a little bit yesterday, yes, we will be bringing Series 2 of the trading cards back, and some pretty exciting stuff. I don't have any of the details yet, but I believe everybody wants their own card, and I believe Terrence is going to set up something to where you may actually have a chance to get your image on a Scarefest trading card next year, if that is something that you're interested in. So make sure that you follow Terrence Muncie's page, and he will put instructions on there for how you would have a chance to have your own Scarefest Series 2 trading card.
Oh God. And Terrence, Terrence, if you're listening, he called me yesterday and things have been, I'm still winding down. I'm still Scarefesting. So Terrence, I gotta get back with you, dude. But you absolutely knocked it out of the park with the trading card idea. And you made our likenesses so like on target.
Dude.
Like, now like I can't walk, I couldn't walk from one end of the floor to the other without somebody asking me for my card.
Yes, and so my parents got to come on Saturday, and on Sunday, and this is one of my favorite moments from the entire weekend. So I want this memorialized and saved on Scarefest TV. So we're walking around, and we make it over to Terrence's booth. Now, Terrence, when he did the card of me, he actually printed out an 11x17 poster of my card. And so I walked my parents over to meet Terrence, and he gave them this print. And my dad has one of my cards in his hand, and he looks at Terrence. He's like, "Hey, man, you did a really great job. Can you make the boobs a little smaller next time?"
Dude.
And Terrence, straight faced, looked at my dad, looked at me, the card, me, my dad, and said, "I don't know, man. I think I got it pretty spot on."
And that's the beauty of Terrence Muncie right there, all in one story.
And my dad was like, "No, you did, but can you please just help me out? Just next time, make the boobs a little smaller."
We've got to get one of Wes though next year. Like I know this was our test run, and it was a very successful test run, by the way. I was absolutely blown away by it. Like it was so much fun, and it took off. And so we do a lot of cross promoting with other shows and stuff, and those guys are like all wanting to do that now, which I thought was pretty cool.
And another thing that we could do is Wes has so many split personalities or alter egos, but Wes has so many different forms that his card could take. So what we may need to do is we may need to get some of Wes's characters and do a poll and see which character should be memorialized in the trading card.
Yeah,
I thought he pulled off. Wes, you pulled off a pretty good Wolverine this year. I mean, that was, yeah.
You know what? It is unusual for me to do a character and people to walk up and actually know what the character is. I will say that. Everybody, I
mean, you were wearing claws on your hands. Like, I'm just saying. But you took it to a different level. So yeah.
If I can't have fun doing this, I quit. There. Said it.
Right.
That's what I said in 2019.
Okay.
When are someone asks?
Yeah. Do we have a vision on when the tickets are going to be on sale at this point?
So we're not going to put anything on sale until we finalize with the center on the next year's dates. And I feel pretty confident on those dates right now. But then I want everybody to understand, like, I'm not putting everything on sale until we finalize contracts with the venue and the hotels and everything else. So that way, because we've got to get the pricing down. Well, last year our contracts came in late, and our pricing, and this was a decision I made. When our pricing on the contracts came in, it was higher than what we anticipated.
Yeah.
But we kept the ticket pricing and the vendor pricing. We kept that at what we said it was going to be. So roughly what that means is that, you know, Platinums, if you're listening, we ate some money on that.
We definitely lost quite a bit of money on the Platinum ticket sales. The VIP ticket price point, we lost money on every VIP. And that's another thing. And thank everybody that's watching, the people that go on Facebook and they stick up for the show when people make snide comments about the show and how we're trying to make money off of people. And I've talked to some of you one-on-one about this, especially our VIP tickets. Like this year, more than any other year, we lost money on our VIP tickets. But usually at the very best we can hope for on those packages is to break even. We do not make money off of those. We do that limited for you all, but we don't make money on VIP tickets. So use that.
And just
anybody thinks that Brandon like rides around a yacht 362 days out of the year. I'm happy to show you my books.
Yeah, I'm even going to throw myself under the bus because I questioned early on, if we're not going to make money on this, why are we in the hotel business? And I was shut down. But yeah,
you know, the hotels, like if you guys like, okay, so throwing in tickets into an event ticket or a hotel into an event ticket is an absolute nightmare for promoters.
It is.
We don't like doing it. Nobody out there enjoys doing it. It's not something that you make money off of. I mean, nothing to write home to mom about. And even on the tickets this year, you know, the Hilton especially, you know, the Hilton costs are up. The hotel costs.
Anybody that can look at Google and owns a calculator can see if the VIP pack was $650, the rack rate on the Hilton rooms was $330 for 2 nights. Just for 2 nights at the hotel, rack rate, you would have paid $660. And that does not include admission, early admission, swag bag, t-shirt, or VIP lounge. So obviously, you know, we do get a discount on those rooms, but just if you were to weigh the cost of getting the Platinum VIP package and staying on site versus not getting it and paying rack rate, you see very clearly that, you know, it's definitely better to get the Platinum. So someone asked, should we not get VIP tickets? And no, that's not what we're saying at all. What we're saying is that, you know, we are going to be looking at price increases across the board. Unfortunately, everything on the market is going up, and we have kept and we will continue to keep our prices as low as possible, but there will absolutely be price increases on certain things for next year. We just don't know what they are yet. And that's because we're getting price increases on the back end of things.
Yeah, in my mind, the VIP experience is always worth it. And like I've bought VIP tickets at countless cons. And I think what we offer is better than 9 out of 10 out there.
Yeah.
And we work painstakingly for it. Yeah, the only thing we're saying is that like the Platinum packages, which, you know, we've had guys that have been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Is that we way underpriced it.
Yeah. That's really, I mean, honestly, it came down to a couple of years ago. I think it was for the 2020 show. I mean, we were going to eliminate the Platinum tickets entirely. And the only reason that they are still around is for the people that purchase them every year. That's the truth. So if you're a Platinum ticket holder, you've been a Platinum ticket holder and you're watching this, you are the only reason that we still offer the Platinum ticket package. And if we're able to continue offering that package, it will only be because of you all. That's
let's be honest. I really keep it around because I'm afraid Jake and Olaf may punch me in the balls.
Exactly. And that's without saying it.
It's really, and I can't live with that idea. And neither can my, yeah.
But
okay, let's hop in with our commercial break. A little special treat today. Segment 1 of Scarefest TV has been brought to you by Camel Cigarettes. More doctors smoke cigarettes than any other cigarette. Camels than any other cigarette. Anyway, now the actual commercial. Everybody, okay, I'm going to give a testimonial here. Getting a little older. What are you doing? Why'd you flick back to Camel cigarettes? Cigarettes are over. Anyway, BlueLeafNaturals.com. Okay, I always just play the commercial, and I want to do something a little different, and I'm learning how to do it. Blue Leaf Naturals. I walked on concrete for 5 days if you count Sunday night. Thanks, Brandon. So I could not walk this week, hardly. So I pulled out my trusty bottle, Blue Leaf Natural, and I'm going to tell you what, people, try this stuff. It actually worked. It's on sale now. The website's on your phone there. But you just, a little bit goes a long way, but it's CBD oil. It's basic, and it doesn't have a smell. That's what I like about it. All the other stuff I've ever tried had that menthol smell. But I highly recommend this stuff. Try one bottle. It's on sale now. And if it doesn't work, don't use it anymore. But I think you'll be surprised on joint pain and that type of stuff, that it's kind of living up to the hype. Okay, back to the council. So,
and on sale later this fall, West Forsyth Musk in a bottle. It does have smell.
Yeah, I have smell. I
won't appreciate you, but we're selling it for only $2.99.
Yeah, you catch me on Friday afternoon, dude. Before I get cleaned up for the show.
Just wring out his shirt right into a little bottle. That's all you got to do.
Now,
I'm not sure how you collect musk on somebody, but yeah, I think that let's just keep it at that.
Now I do. Okay, now just to make her head just a little bit bigger than it is on screen, I want Brandon to tell everybody what he was told by Robert England's management about our line building that Brandon incidentally didn't think would work.
No, I didn't say it wouldn't work. Let's get that straight out of the gate. No, we said that something had to happen because
Adrian would quit if it didn't.
That, but we've watched it play out a million times, and we knew what it was going to be.
Yes.
And so Adrian came up with a system that, by far, has been the best system that I think that they've seen, and I know that I've seen. And while you can't make everybody happy, let me explain for a second what you could anticipate if you just showed up and wanted to get Robert England's autograph. Because I can guarantee you, unless you got there at 3 a.m.,
yep,
you'd be standing in a line all damn day.
Yep.
Because what happens is that Robert is so wanted. And I mean, his line would wrap around the building.
Yep.
What people would have been doing was the same thing that they would have been doing in 17, and that's standing in a line for 3 days.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And people thought, and I've had to answer some emails from upset people, that came and they came in late after the show opened, and were disappointed that they couldn't get in line. And I had to explain that to them that we personally went to shows this year with him there, and we saw and we talked to the people that they sat in line all day Friday, didn't get it, got there early Saturday, sat in line all day Saturday. And these were just VIP ticket holders. These weren't general admission, because the line was capped by the time general admission opened. And we wanted a way to try to deter that. And, it can't be stressed enough that we didn't make a penny off of anything to do with Robert England's autographs, the line building, or anything. We spent, Brandon got those kiosks for us to use. We had to spend several $100s in just renting those from the center. The print for the actual tickets and the paper, all of that costs money and time for us to do that. All we had to do was just open the door and be like, "There's a line, go get in it." But if anybody
but this is what I mean. It happens at every single show. Like people that got upset about the line, like that setup, which again was a mix, because I had people tell me it was the best thing they'd ever seen.
Yep.
Because they knew what it would look like if it wasn't that way.
Exactly. And that's all it boiled down to, was the people that didn't know. They just didn't know. And I couldn't be upset with them for that, after we explained it. And some people got upset Friday evening, that had actually gotten to line up, but then, he had to leave, and he actually stayed late. He stayed after the floor closed and signed for a bit. But if anybody was on the floor during his photo op lineup time, you could tell, because the floor emptied out. Because when you walked to the back, there were hundreds and hundreds of people in line for the photo op. And that would have been pretty spot on, if we just let people line up, and then you stand there all day with no hopes of getting a signature. So, yes, it was definitely an experience as far as getting to hear that from his team, how well they like the line system. And hopefully they can take that, I didn't trademark that. So hopefully some other shows that Robert does in the future will adopt that, and people, it'll expedite the people that are able to actually get the autograph. And then the people that aren't able to get the autograph that day, they can still enjoy the show.
Yeah, I mean, if you're buying a ticket to a show, like, in all honesty, you're buying it for more than one person usually.
Yeah.
There's no point in buying a ticket to a show if you're going to stand in line all day and not be able to engage in the show. Like, this allowed folks to, because, to go through like the Return of the Living Dead folks, or to go and get Kane's signature. And then when you were called, like, you could walk back and then get in your line.
Yep.
But to me, it was the best way to possibly work it out. And so I think hats off to Adrian.
Oh, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah, matter of fact, we got one message from a guy that said he's been chasing him all over the country, and he did not get his autograph. And he said, but what you all did was the fairest and most equitable, most efficient way, I think is the word he used, to do it. And he had fun anyway, so he wasn't.
But those guys that came, like, there were people that drove down from all over the place. And there was people that came out on Thursday night and got there at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We were taking them out like coffee and water and stuff like that. And because I just, it was, yeah, I mean, and they got it no problem. If you put in the commitment.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Next thing is we need to come up with a fancy name for that system, so that whenever he comes back, or if we decide we need it for another headliner, rather than go, we just need, I'll put it in the FAQ, but we need a catchy name for it.
I'm calling it the Zeitgeist. It's the Zeitgeist line.
Okay. All right.
No, it's not catchy for everybody. So yeah.
Another thing that, I would like to absolutely sing people's praises on, and I don't know if the public would realize this from an outside standpoint, but, last year when we had the show, we effectively ran that show with what we called a skeleton crew. I mean, we did not have a lot of staff to run 2021. And though we had a lot more folks sign up for 2022, because of the growth size of the show this year, we ran the show with the just a comparably tiny amount of staff who just absolutely worked their guts out all weekend. And I cannot say enough good things about the people on the floor, the people that were working behind the scenes to just make everything happen the way that it happens. And when you're in the thick of it, you're like, oh my God, how is this working? And it's because people are doing things without having to be asked, or they see someone struggling and they offer to help. And really, I just can't say enough about anybody that you ever see in a Scarefest staff shirt. Like, they are the reason that things are moving and going the way that they are. So it definitely goes to them.
The runners and handlers, absolutely. I would take the Pepsi challenge with those guys any day of the week. And they are exceptional people.
Absolutely.
If Maya asked me what her name is one more time, I may kill her.
Well, and
that's a long story, but the runners and handlers, but like, you know, Jeff and JW, Adam, like, I mean, just Lori, Rachel with vendors. I mean, I am at a loss for words on just how awesome everybody is that does this show. And
yeah,
the staff are absolutely amazing.
I don't know, maybe one of the best ways to put this into perspective for people, if we could put numbers on it. So the back left corner of the show floor was all the celebrity booths. In total, there were 75 booths in that back corner, 75 10 by 10 booths, and 60 celebrities. And we had a couple of other folks back there. JSA was back there. But there were four girls that ran all weekend back there. And they made sure that all of the celebrities had water, they had food, coffee. Four amazing women ran that entire section by themselves all weekend. So the handlers were having to help the runners because it was four people taking care of it. And it was so hard to move back there, and because the crowds, which was amazing, but you've got four. It blows my mind trying to put that in perspective so that people see. And you know, on the other end of that, like I said, the behind the scenes stuff that people never see are, we had a transportation team, and I saw after the weekend was over, Mama Kim had posted what her Fitbit tracked for her sleep over the weekend. Did you see that, Brandon?
No, I did not see it. No, but I talked to her throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
I can imagine what it was.
On the 22nd, she didn't have any. I mean, there was no sleep tracked in the 24-hour period that encompassed that day. So, you know, we had to spread out a little bit. Everybody remembers last year's tirade Brandon went on about the Hyatt. So we couldn't walk next door, you know, to the hotel. So we were a little spaced out. You know, we had people staying up to a couple miles away this year, and the transportation team ran nonstop from the time flights started coming in on Thursday morning until Monday evening. And when I say transportation team, there were a lot of people that stepped up and they helped out with that. But you know, Mama Kim and Mackenzie were running constantly. So huge shout out. And please, everybody, I need to start a petition that Mama Kim is not going to retire from Scarefest this year. She said that she's retiring, and we have to, like, whatever we got to do. I don't know if we got to feed her break.
That would kind of kill me. I mean, Mackenzie and Adam are I mean, they do an amazing job.
Adam who?
Huh?
Just kidding.
Oh, Chad, I mean. Chad.
Adam.
Yeah, really. But I don't know. It's just so many moving pieces. And Kim, you know, told me kind of the same thing. Like, I'm still processing it. And to think about her, you know, not being in there. I mean, we're not saying not be around, but not doing the transportation stuff. Like, it's hard for me to imagine it. And I got kind of teary when we were talking about it. But, you know, well, anyway, on the other side of that, though, They did. They absolutely knocked it out of the park. And Mackenzie and Adam, like keeping track of those schedules.
Oh God.
People don't have any idea that is a job in and of itself. And it is absolutely like Chinese checkers. Like it is, yeah.
Somebody caught it, but we actually almost lost one.
Who?
Remember the AM and PM differential?
Oh, yeah, that was. I
Oh,
made it
God.
on my flights list, and I had well, I'm not going to say any names, but I had someone coming in at 11:27 p.m. and he got in at 11:27 a.m. and I'm sitting in the hotel lobby waiting to receive the next person, and he comes strolling in. I was like, he's not supposed to be here until midnight. And then I looked at the schedule and I was like, yeah, it clearly says 11 p.m., 11:27 p.m. And then I was like, oh my God. But this was wrong from the word jump when we booked his flight 8 weeks ago. I don't know how they caught it, but they absolutely, yeah, that was all on me. That was an Adrian mistake from the beginning.
But transportation's like Thunderdome. Like it can go. I mean, it is so ingrained. And like, I mean, anybody that's hung out with me has heard my Buffy the Vampire Slayer stealing the van story, and also my screwing up Jigsaw's transportation at 5:30 in the morning story.
Yeah.
And those are things that I don't want to make Jigsaw mad. And I don't want to make Buffy the Vampire Slayer mad either. Those are not fun conversations.
No.
But we made it through. Actually, we've made it past the through the last 2 years with everybody getting where they need to be, when they need to be there.
Yep. Hey, and also I drove somebody to dinner one night, so I would like an honorary spot on the transportation team. And I told everybody for weeks that, you know, I wasn't going to detail my car or clean it out or anything like that because of my car. No one wanted to use my car last year. I had it bathed and detailed. I spent like $140 having it detailed and cleaned, and then it sat in the Hyatt Valet for 5 days. So I was like, you know what, I'm not doing it this year. And then Thursday night, John Kassir needed a ride to his dinner reservation, and there was a horrible traffic. And so I was like, well, John, we can take my car, but I'm going to have to move some stuff out of your seat before you sit down.
I forgot how to drive. Like, after 5 days of like walking and just being like nomadic lifestyle of living in an RV or wherever I can crash, like I got behind the wheel of my car on Tuesday and I was like,
how does this work?
Oh my God, shit, what's the basic rules of driving again? Like, I almost wanted to go like GTA, where you just crash into a bus and steal it. Oh my God, sorry.
Okay, let's take our second commercial break, everybody. Segment 2 has been brought to you by Del Monte Ketchup. You mean a woman can open it. Okay, now, truthfully, Spirit Mechanics. We're doing Spirit Mechanics tonight. We're talking about them. They've moved into an actual brick and mortar store. The address is 1510 Newtown Pike, Suite 116. Basically, go down Newtown Pike, 2 lights away from the Clarion. It's in the Griffin Gate Shopping Center. Jewel Phoenix, right? That's what's on one side of the building. They're on the other side, but it's all one store. You can just go in whatever door is unlocked. But yeah, so check them out. Go to spiritmechanics.com. You can get the address. You can find out more about what they have. And they've added a whole bunch of stuff for sale in the store. Tarot cards. They've never had tarot cards. So now,
and it's located between the youth hostel and the massage parlor.
Actually, if they'd had a choice, probably. But, okay. But spiritmechanics.com. Check them out. When you're in town, and go by and see them, and all their stuff's listed on their website. Great bunch of guys. I went to their grand opening and got a okay, now I would normally call this one of those bullshit things. I had a guy take a tuning fork and work on my hips that were still hurting from Scarefest from walking on concrete 5 days counting Sunday night. And by God, it worked. I could not fucking believe it, but it actually worked, and I was able to walk again. I do want to point out, Central Kentucky Mystical Market is this weekend. Central Kentucky, and don't even go to the website this time because They're not even in the same part of the Clarion. I had that pulled up. But basically, instead of going in the back door, in the conference center, go into the lobby, they're in the paddock, it's called. They'll have signs up, but Central Kentucky Mystical Market is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and just go in through the front of the Clarion on Newtown Pike. Okay, back to the show.
All right. So I've got $20 that says, okay, Nicole just got home. So she knows I'm on Scarefest TV. So what's going to happen is that she's going to walk in randomly and act like she's looking for something or lost. And then turn around and face the camera and be like, oh, hey, guys.
Yes,
Like
but it will never
happen.
It will never beat the moment she came in and poured marbles on the floor. I don't care what you say.
Oh, so, okay. One thing I wanted to hit on real quick, and I want to talk about the vendors this year. The vendors were absolutely amazing. And if you guys, we recruited vendors like crazy this year. And I was absolutely amazed by it. And I throw in so vendors and then all the entertainment and the star cars that we had in there. So the Jeepers truck, Christine, had record turnout. If you guys missed Breck re-engaged with the Jeepers truck, that was awesome. And also, by the way, Jonathan Breck's line was chaos and it was packed. And Mary Mudwood was like body blocking people to get them to maintain some kind of order in that.
Yep.
So the vendors that were there last year, the vendor booths will go on sale here before too much longer. Again, once we negotiate the contracts and all that stuff. But you guys definitely showed the vendors some love. And when we shut down the show, when the vendors clap, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Real quick, to answer a question in the chat room, somebody came in a little late. Yes, we will be offering getting the normal hotel discounts. The platinum tickets will have hotel rooms attached to them. All that will happen. But we're just saying on the matter of fact, I'd say on all the hotel rooms, because economy, expect them to be a little higher. I mean, that's just me and unavoidable, I'd say. But,
yeah.
Because
well, I mean, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, and the hotel prices go up every single year, but we've kept the prices pretty static on it.
So yeah, we're going to hold them down as tight as we can, and yes, presumably next year we'll even try to get a few more hotels on board around town. But Keeneland makes it hard. I mean, that's what it boils down to as far as when you go to talk to them. And although not as hard as it would have been this weekend because they had downtown Lexington shut down for the Breeders' Cup. That's what it is. That shows how much I give a flying rat's ass.
I mean, which just sounds dirty, but I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was a lot. I'm trying to think. There were so many just really, really great things about the show. And again, I mean, just like last year, so few complaints and things that, Friday's always rough moving in, getting everything set up. Like Friday's always a little stressful, but on the admin side of things, at least.
The term I used was dumpster fire, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But, I think it's really funny because the week after the show, I kept finding random bruises on my body, my big toe on my right foot looks like the nail is painted purple and the whole top of my foot was bruised. I had some really weird bruise right here on my upper arm that was 4 dots in a perfect square. So I don't know, if I hugged someone in a cosplay but it was 4 perfect circles, I don't know, like a crop circle or something from the Aliens. But, yeah, there were so many things that just went so well, and it's hard to talk about everything. I think Lex Live was phenomenal. The pictures are starting to come out from our photographers this year.
Oh, hey.
What a surprise.
$20.
I did not agree to that. I did not agree to that. But anyway, yes, it was great.
Nicole has been working late setting up Central Kentucky Mystical Market with Rachel, and so she just got back in. You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. The Clarion moved us to a brand new space, so we had to reconfigure the whole show, and it took long.
Oh. Huh.
That's what I said.
Yeah, they have like 3 football teams, a volleyball team, and the Breeders' Cup all convening at the Clarion Hotel. So.
Oh, no toddlers and tiaras?
No, but all of those groups together spend way more money than we do there on a weekend. So we got shifted to the paddock. So they put us in the paddock. You all have a good show. I'm going. Bye.
Brandon does have several directions. There was a question that says, Brandon, do you have a direction that you were thinking about for next year as far as guests and themes go? Hold on. Don't clear your throat. Brandon's not talking yet.
Oh, yeah. No. Everybody shuts me up because I start talking too much. So, yeah.
Brandon has several ideas and several themes. Now, I will say this. Brandon is no longer allowed to drink bourbon and do Scarefest TV because last year, Brandon made a comment, almost a passing comment about someone that he was trying to get for a lineup for last year. And then I had to answer at minimum 4 dozen communications after that night leading up to the show if Brandon made it happen. So, because he doesn't have to deal with the consequences when he says things in passing, he's not allowed to say anything.
All right, shutting up completely.
So, yes, he does have an idea. He's got some really good ideas. And we will be giving you updates once we have those a little bit more locked in, like ink on a piece of paper, sealed.
Based on the feedback I got from the Scarefest fan group and from the celebrities themselves, I say we just call next year Groundhog Day and just have all the same people back because they all want to come back. And so far, most of the requests in the that I've seen have been people asking for the same people.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, yeah.
Not wrong. Yeah. Oh, look what I got in the mail today. You all are going to love this. Well, I'm not going to undo it. But Jan mailed me one of her shirts because she didn't have a chance to give it to me at the show. So Janice Blythe sent me one of her shirts. Super cool. So I love presents. So you all, I'm going to get a P.O. box so I can just post that publicly so you all can presents whenever you like to.
But I also, can we talk just a little bit about how, like, I know I'm not getting the big head or anything, but like our lineup was pretty kick ass.
No, it was.
Like you've got to say like the even though we didn't land all the part 3 folks, if you guys got around to meet like Tracy and Larry and all those guys, they were absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Robert, England, and Patrick. Robert Patrick was hilarious. Everybody there was just really cool and laid back. And I mean, I had a blast. I got to go out on Sunday and talk to folks, and it was just phenomenal. Michael Berryman is still like one of the nicest guys I'll ever meet.
Someone in the comments just said, I drove 13 hours for your lineup.
And my point is to try and recreate that next year, and I've got some really good ideas.
He does.
And the lineup this year was something that I was like, the hell with it. We're going to go big. This is the stuff that I would like to see. And this is my 2nd year of making lineups. And I think for 2 years, I think it's been pretty good. And I think now we just keep building on it. Like I am all about it. I was so excited about the lineup this year. And we are a small family-owned show that I think, deliver on what fans want. And that's because we listen to what they say. We have a lot of feedback back and forth. I have a lot of conversations with guys that come, and that's what we try to work on.
Yeah, it's awesome. And now hopefully that means that Brandon's already got a great idea of who he wants to see, and he is not going to drag us all over the country this year to go and see people. I don't trust that smile that you just gave either. But also,
we are traveling this year again. I had more fun traveling last year, and like it's so good, like to go around and see other shows, because like I used to go to shows all the time, and
well, I didn't.
Well, you need to see them more than I do.
Another thing I am going to put in the chat right now so everyone hears, Brandon and Joe are not allowed, Hopkins are not allowed to have any further communication until next Scarefest, because Joe is the biggest perpetrator in trying to west of the Mississippi.
No, I get where you're going, but I'm just telling you right now, Joe showed me his list of like people that he wanted for attendees, and it matched up pretty damn solid with what I've been wanting to do.
I'm absolutely certain of that.
So let me tell you, when two guys sit down at a table and they compare lists, it's a very personal, confidential moment. And when other guys, like, you know, when I go around and when we're talking about lineups, we're talking about guests, when we line up with names, it's you know, that's guy stuff.
It was a tender moment. I know.
Yeah, no, and women too. Like, we have those conversations when we line up, the stars align, friends forever.
Let's hop on our last commercial break, everybody. We'll be right back. And also, Bonehead Weekly has a movie review for you.
Horror. Movie. Fans. 4. Life. On Facebook. Find us. 4 watch parties. 4 news. 4 memes. 4 friends. 4 life. Horror movie fans for life. Join us.
Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Have you recovered yet? Is Wes still achy? Glad to see a lot of you last weekend. It's cool, and I'm glad to be back up. I have a ton of horror films to review the next few weeks, and I'm actually going to review. Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Have you recovered yet? Is Wes still achy? Glad to see a lot of you last weekend. It's cool, and I'm glad to be back up. I have a ton of horror films to review the next few weeks, and I'm actually going to review them not in the way I watched them, not in the order I watched them. The first one I want to do is Barbarian, 2022's Barbarian. Now, when I heard about it, I didn't think much of it. And then the movie came out and started to do some big business in October. And now it's on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, you can check it, Barbarian, out there. And it started to do some business. And I was slightly impressed. That and Smile were doing big business in October. I haven't seen Smile yet. And I got the chance to watch Barbarian. And a lot of people I respect love the movie. A lot of people whom I adore think the movie is really scary and intense. I think it's pretty good, but I think it's slightly overrated. Here's what I love about Barbarian. The less I tell you, the better off you are if you haven't seen it. Basically, what it is this woman has rented an Airbnb. She's got a job interview in Detroit. Shows up at the Airbnb, opens the door, and there's a guy there. And it's played by Bill Skarsgård. Is he good? Is he bad? What's going on? They're somehow double booked through the Airbnb. And the less I tell you, the better off you are. because there's a twist in the middle. It's about a third into it, and then there's another kind of little twist, another third. So the movie, it's so hard to talk about because I don't want to ruin it for you. So what I'll say is that it's one of the best acted horror films I've seen in a long time, and the writing's really good and it's really well directed. I want to give props to the director, Zach Krager, Bill Skarsgård, Georgina Campbell, and I can't really talk about the rest of the cast because I want you to figure the movie out as you go along. It works. I just don't know that it's the best thing I'd seen in forever. I mean, some people love this movie, and I like that it's told in a different way, that there aren't necessarily flashbacks, but it's not necessarily always linear and non-linear either. I like that. It's very creative. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I just think maybe the hype is a little too much for this one. I don't know. I mean, I hear these things about Terrifier 2, and I see that Jake has posted that it's a little high, it's a little overhyped, and it's probably true. What we are living in right now in the last few months is that there is just a glut of pretty good horror movies out there to check out. And I'm going to be reviewing them. Halloween Ends is not one of them, but I will be reviewing some of the other ones. Barbarian 2022 on HBO Max. Is he evil? Is he not evil? What's going to happen in that room or in that Airbnb house that she's renting in Detroit? The less you know about Barbarian, the more you'll enjoy it. I just think it's slightly overrated for what people are saying. I think it's a really good movie that I highly recommend, but some people are just going a little bit cuckoo on how great it is. But it's a pretty damn good movie, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, with some great performances from everybody, all the actors, good writing, good directing, a really well-made movie. Really well made. I'm impressed. I want to see more. This guy came from comedy. That guy made it. I want to see more of his horror films. He did a really good job, but it's not quite as good as people are saying. It's pretty good. My friend Crutchfield and Laura, they both agreed with me. I had them watch it. And they go, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not what everybody's like. It's like, yeah, that's me. That's what I think. So check out Barbarian, HBO Max. Hopefully I've tempered your expectations a little bit. I did not find the movie frightening. I found the movie engaging. I wanted to know what happened. I wasn't like this. I didn't. But it's a really good movie. So check out Barbarian on HBO Max. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly.
He'll make it.
And welcome back, everybody. Final few moments of Scarefest TV. So,
Hi.
What kind of... Adrian's done told Brandon he can't say anything, so that's gonna kind of throw a wet towel over everything. So
I can't do anything exciting right now. All I can say is that we are tentatively looking at October 20th through the 22nd next year, which that's we're not giving up those dates. Those are the dates that we're going to stick with. So everybody can plan accordingly for that weekend. As far as like guests and stuff, some things that we do will be in line with what other shows, like people that are going around to other places. Because we want to bring people into Kentucky that, we're the only show in Kentucky that set up to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we bring in stuff for folks that, you're going to have to travel statewide or out of the state hours to get.
Yep.
Some of the people you see at other shows in Georgia or, other places, you're going to see that in Lexington too. So just keep that in mind. And we're working on some folks that we've never had before. We're working on some, my favorite thing about the entire process is to find these links between like different movies and people that we have as guests in one series that carry over to another.
Easy.
Yeah, I'm shutting up. I'm not. Yeah, catch me if I start going out of bounds. But it's really like one of the figuring out like which reunion we're going to do this year for which film series and all that stuff, because you know that we've got to have a Friday the 13th in there somehow. And so which one are we going to go with?
Yeah.
Like, who are we going to get? Are we going to get people that's never been to a con before? And that's where I get really excited. People that have never been to a show.
One thing I would like to say for everyone that is listening, and this is not a put down in any way, but it's just something I would like people to keep in mind. We always encourage you, if you would like to see a guest at our show, if they have social media and they're making posts that they're out doing shows, comment on there. Let them know, like, you want to see them come to Kentucky, you want to see them at Scarefest. You definitely let them know that. The one thing that I would ask, that if you are messaging or emailing or anything of that nature, that you are requesting them, just, make sure that you include that, you would like to see them on the basis of an attendee or a fan. And because we do get communications from folks sometimes thinking that we have reached out and extended an invitation to them because the person that requested them was, part of the staff. And so it does create a little bit of confusion on that end. So if you do reach out to them and you let them know that you want them in Lexington, you are always welcome to give them our email addresses. Adrian at the Scarefest, Nicole at the Scarefest, Brandon at the Scarefest. They can always reach out to us, and then we can take it over from there. So that does help, though, if you're on their socials and they keep seeing, oh, Kentucky keeps popping up on my Instagram. People want to see me in Kentucky. Then if we do reach out to them, then, they'll know. So that's always appreciated.
And especially for the paranormal people. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Because if we're going to have a paranormal lineup next year, we got to shake the trees. Is just what I'm saying.
Yep. We got to get some people out, people that are doing shows, people that maybe aren't doing shows. Get some of those people to come down and check us out.
And remember, I always like to hear ideas. This is the show that we listen to what people want.
Yeah,
I work on. So keep that in mind.
Someone messaged me today with some requests, and if you go on our Facebook group page, I think I've got it pinned at the top, asking for guest suggestions for 2023. We read all of those comments. We read everything that you all comment on there. It's a little harder when you make an independent post because those do get lost in the feed. And you can make an independent post, but make sure that you're adding a comment to that thread, and we will see it. If there's someone on the thread already that you want to see, do a little react on the comment. Those comments that get, whole bunch of reactions definitely tell us that a lot of people are interested in seeing that person at the show. And we do genuinely base a lot of our lineup off of what you all want to see, because if not, what's the point? Then Brandon's just sitting over here like a kid in a toy box playing with all of the toys by himself and not sharing with anyone. So we want to do that as much as possible.
I'll have everybody from like Dune.
So
if movies that nobody knows.
I want this person, and then I go on the Facebook and not one single person has suggested this person that Brandon wants, then we know what he's doing. So, that gives me a little ammo in the conversation.
What's the fun of owning a horror convention if you can't fan out every so often?
The other day, I came and said something to the effect of someone had offered him a very large prop. I guess would be the best way to categorize that. Offered to sell it to him, and he was just like a kid in a candy store. And I was like, what are we going to do with that thing? And he was like, I could get a business loan for this. Do you understand?
I had an entire business model like that was organized around this. And so, yes, I count on you to keep me grounded.
And then he said, it's not every day that you can have an Excalibur saw made and write it off on your taxes.
No, and I stand by that. Just saying. That was
cough, cough, all the heads, cough, cough. And they may be onto something there too. But it is 10:01 and I'm starving to death. I know no one is surprised.
All right, then. Adrian's calling a game. So, everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. We'll be back next week with something, because nobody's responding to my emails. All famous people.
Featuring Anita's elbow.
Yes, featuring my wife's elbow. And anyway, so everybody, Scarefest TV next week is on like almost every Friday. So for all you, I've seen some people new to the convention in the chat room. I'll bet you're new to the show. So keep coming back. We'll try to keep it interesting.
Oh my God, all you guys.